Weekly, GarageBand, GarageBand Weekly, GarageBand Weekly. Ooh. Need an answer to your question, John, you'll have a suggestion. He's a fountain of all knowledge. I think he might have gone to GarageBand College. What he doesn't know, we'll try and find out. So join the chat and give him a shout. Pete Johns, Pete Johns, GarageBand Weekly.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome in to GarageBand Weekly, a very special edition of GarageBand Weekly, because about once a year we do something I like to call the 8-bar challenge. We usually do it around about this time of year because Songtember is just around the corner. I'll tell you a little more about that in a moment. But this week's episode, we are live to tape once again. So if you're here on the live premiere, hello. I hope you're doing well. And we won't have the usual news and notes and other items. We're going to dive straight in to this 8-bar challenge. But first, we've got to explain what this is all about, yeah? So the 8-bar challenge is where in 8 bars with 8 tracks, you create an 8-bar song. Now, I'm going to do mine within the next hour because I like to give myself a little bit of what I call positive time pressure. You don't have to do the same sort of thing. And you can use anything you like. I'm going to be using GarageBand. I've got a microphone and that's it. GarageBand's built-in sounds and anything I can source from places far and wide on the internet, I can bring it all in here. Loops and sounds and samples and whatever I want. So I don't really know what I'm making yet. And that's part of the fun. In fact, I suggest making something maybe a little bit different outside of your comfort zone. If you're a rock musician, why not try some sort of R&B or hip hop? Or if you're usually making electronica, why don't you put some horns and some flutes in there? You never know. You never know what's going to happen. So that's what we'll be doing. I'll be showing you the process here, giving you some tips and tricks around GarageBand as well, because after all, the name of the show is GarageBand Weekly. So we're going to dive into the iPad and get started. All right, we've got about 45, 50 minutes on the clock. We've got to get this all done within 1 hour. So let's jump over here. Here's a site for sore eyes. This is GarageBand for iPad, and this is a blank slate. I've opened a brand new track. I'm going to be doing it in tracks mode here, and we're going to start creating from scratch. So what I like to do first of all is jump into the audio recorder, and I'm going to turn on audio monitoring. By the way, I'm using today iPad OS 26 because why not make it even more difficult on myself? Why not give myself extra homework? And if anything could go wrong, it probably will. So yeah, we'll go with that. So we've got our microphone, hello, plugged in there. So monitoring is already on there and ready to go. But all I really want to do here is make sure that we've got this defined down to 8 bars, which we do. We're going to turn off automatic and make sure this is manually 8 bars on our song length. And I'm just going to hit record for reasons you'll see in a minute. Check. This is what I like to do at the very start of a new project. You know why? Because GarageBand doesn't auto-save until you actually go out of the project. So what I like to do is actually save out of this project by tapping in the top left corner. There it is, my Song 25. But I'm going to rename this because I want to make sure I know that this is the one we're working on. So let's rename it to 2025 8-bar challenge. And now it not only goes hopefully to the top, almost to the top. I've lost it. There it is. But now it's named. Now whenever we save it, it's going to come out here and be able to be saved. So we don't actually need that now. We just needed something in there for it to be. We're going to start. I wanted to show you first and foremost how, if you wanted to bring in some sounds outside of GarageBand, you absolutely can. So I'm going to grab a beat or a drum loop or something to get us started, and I'm going to jump over to Safari, which I don't believe I've used here on iPad OS 26. What have I got? ChatGPT up there, and the the Logic Pro for iPad release notes. So that's how long it's been since I've used Safari here. But I'm going to go to a website called freesound.org, and this is a great place to get yourself some free sounds. Now, I'll show you how to search for these and make sure that you get ones that are going to be copyright free. So let's log in here. I'm going to see if I can remember my username and password. Oh, good. It's saved for me. Where's my face? Hello. It saved my login details there. And yeah, we'll accept the cookies. So, oh, what was that noise? Oh, that was weird. I think there was a truck outside. I thought something was happening here. So let's search some sounds. I'm going to go funk drum loop. And let's just hit enter. Let's just see what we get in the way of a funk drum loop. So we've got a bunch of different ones here. Now, what I would suggest you do is over here, you can actually change this one to Creative Commons 0, approve for free, attribution. I would go Creative Commons 0 because this means that you can use these without any attribution and without any payment and without any copyright related problems. So even though we're only using one drum loop, I want to make sure we do that. So to preview a loop here, we're going to hit the play button and hopefully... That's really cool. I kind of enjoy that a lot, but it's got a little bit too much going on with it, doesn't it? How about we go with this one, the drums, funk, groove, 7 right. Let's see what this is about. Not quite there. Drum 130 here. What's this one? Oh, we need to pause. Yeah, that was a bit weird. Funky synth loop. No, we want drums, don't we? Drunk drums. Huh? No. I kind of like that first one. I think we could build something around that first loop that we found. Was it this one here? I like it. So to download it, we tap on it to load it up fully here in free sound, and we can hit the download sound button. Now, does this one tell us what BPM it is? That's the question. Do we have this here? We might have to work out what the BPM is, but that's okay. We'll download it and we'll experiment. Sometimes they put the BPM in here and sometimes they don't. Usually they record these to a pretty standard BPM. Okay, so that's downloaded. That's going to be here in our downloads now. Now with GarageBand in iPadOS 26, we don't really need to import it this way, except it crashes. You can drag and drop it in there by windowing, but we're going to use the old school method here of jumping into our loops, going to files, and then we're going to browse from the files app. It should be the most recent one, which it is. We're going to tap on that one. It'll bring it in here in just a jiffy. There it is. So now we can preview it. I like the syncopated rhythm of this. This is going to be cool, and we're going to build around this. So let's drag this into our track, and let's just see if it's in line with our first tempo we've got. Check. No, so we're going to have to work out the tempo here. So I think if we come in here to tempo and we tap to tempo, I reckon it's at about 80, is it? Let's see. Let's see what we've got here. No, that's not it. Check. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. We've given ourselves a challenge here, haven't we? Because this is in 7/8 time. No wonder I thought it was so funky. So how are we going to work this? I have no idea. We just basically need to get the metronome in time with it. So maybe we need to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 1, 3. No, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, we need something that's going to... Maybe we have to go completely off metronome. This is a terrible idea, Johns. Why did you choose this loop? Because you thought it sounded cool. We're giving ourselves extra challenges here. Let's just see. Yeah, it's not going to work because it's going to be off the grid however we do this. Check. So you know what? We're going off the grid. Yeah, we're just going to do it. So how is this going to be 8 bars? Well, we'll turn this off. So let's just say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. That's your 4. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Yeah, so that's where we need it to continue on there. Does the loop actually continue out? Yeah, it does. So it does actually do that. Check. Okay. We've given ourselves a challenge here because guess what? We have to now play everything else in manually, which is going to be a challenge. But not a challenge that I'm not willing to take up. So let's just turn the volume up on this one and take a listen again. All right, so I'm going to play along a bass to go with this because there's already a bit of a bass sound in there, but this is going to require me to actually be able to play the bass in, like, actually play it and not rely on things like quantization or anything else. So I don't even know what key this is in. All right, let's play it. I think we're going with something like that. I need more volume on this bass sound, and I reckon I need the P bass. I reckon I need some crunchy P bass sound. So let's come up. I've made this so difficult for myself. Let's get the P bass here. All right. And the thing with this is, this doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, it's 8 bars and we're doing it in quick time. So let's lean in here, get my bass playing fingers ready, and see how we go. You know what the other fun thing about this loop is? It seems to be... It seems to be off the grid as well. It seems to be a different... I think it might be tuned out of tune or to a different tuning as well, because it's not even lining up with what I'm doing here. What a cracking start. This is your warning. Okay, you know what? We're going to have to scrap the idea of having this, but I'm going to build something because I kind of like the funkiness of that. So we're going to instead mute this out, and I'm going to play in a bass part that's a bit like that. So I'm going to use this as inspiration, as my muse for how we're going to create this song. So. All right, that's what we're going with. But now we can record it in to the metronome, to the grid. All right. There's the basic groove. I tried to do some fancy stuff in there, but we're going to simplify things a little bit here. Let's hit record and get a decent version of this in. Close. Oh yeah. All right, I'm comfortable with that. And now we do have the ability to do things like cheating with our quantization. So let's just come in here to quantization and just it's got a bit of a swing to it. So I'm just going to put a light swing, maybe a 16th light swing on here. And it's, all right, it's got some rough edges, but that's cool. I like it. Now, do we endeavor to go and get a drum beat that might match this from Freesound? I don't know. I'm willing to give it another crack since we failed so dismally. Yeah, try not to do things that are in 7/8 time when you're doing something like this. Let's come back out. So what have we got this at now? So we're now at 93 for the tempo for some reason, but we can change that because we're using virtual bass here. So let's go with something. In fact, we'll find a loop that's at maybe a little faster. So why don't we'll search here. We'll go funk drums 100. And hopefully we can find, not 199, 100. Hopefully we can find some funk drums that are at 100 BPM. What do we got here? That's a bass groove. No, we want drum, a vintage funk drum loop. That could be cool. Let's try it. Let's download this sucker and see if this is going to work in our song. See, this is the fun part of creating, isn't it? Just trying different things, throwing it at the wall like biscotti and seeing what's going to stick. Oh, I like the little bouncy download thing that we got going on here in iPadOS 26. Let's go back to our loops, browse it, find it, bring it on in, and see how this goes. Oh, we brought in the same one again. Well done, me. Browse it. Is it this one? No? Did it not download? Maybe it didn't download, or was it this one here? The one with the 7 in front of it. We'll soon find out, won't we? All right. 7. Yeah. Yep. All right. So let's bring in this drum, vintage funk drum, and see how it's going to go. Oh yeah, I was about to say, why is it not lining up? It's because we haven't changed the tempo yet. So let's up our tempo to 100, and now this should fit perfectly. Let's see what it does with our bass. Oh yeah. Wow. That's a funky groove. All right, see you later, original sound. This is just how we work sometimes. So we've got 2 tracks of our 8 tracks, and we've got our 8 bars. So let's save, because we always want to make sure we save and jump back in so that we don't lose any of the progress. Now, I'm hearing like some organ stabs in here to get this funk going on. Let us find our keys, fire up the old piano. Maybe some electric piano, actually. Yeah, let's try this electric piano. We're going to go to our quantization settings, not our quantization settings, our recording settings up here. No, what was I doing? No, I think I was looking for velocity, but I don't think I have that. I won't cheat. I was going to plug in a MIDI keyboard to play this, but. Alright, I'll record in a little riff here, but it might be hard to get it sounding exactly as I want. A little more bell sound here, a little less tremolo, I think. And I reckon something like that. Let's just try a little test. All right, that's pretty cool. I reckon we're going to go. I reckon, no, we do need the organ, don't we? I think this has got to be the organ. Let's go down and find I reckon our soul organ is the one that we need here. So just so we have a little bit more... Yeah, that's going to be our jam. All right, let's try this. 2. Nearly. So in the interest of time, I kind of got it right the first time, didn't I? So let's just do this and send it and loop it, tap it, loop it, and play it back. Needs a little quantization help, doesn't it? Or quantization could be weird on that little trill up. Oh, we've got the bit where we did it, where we looped it wrong. We need to bring this back. There we go. Got to be careful with your looping. All right, let's try putting our quantization on. I reckon we'll just do 1/32 triplet and see if it's going to work with that trill. Nope. see how it goes with the little rise up. Not at all. We're just going to have to go with it as being a little bit loosey-goosey. Maybe do some editing later if we have the time. So we've worked this out. I like it. I think we got something going on here. What else do we need here? We need some sort of pads, some chords kind of sounds to sit underneath this. So we need another keyboard. Is it piano? Are we going to just go a standard piano with this, or do we need something like a whirly or along those lines? Let's try a few different things. So if we go to a whirly, and I think we need some chords. All right. Something like this. Let's turn this up. The whirly's always very quiet in a mix here. So we'll turn everything else a bit down and bring the whirly up here. And give it a bit of a go. All right, I think we just need to do some very basic chords with this. Let's record it in. All right, I think just simpler the better with this. Let's try it again. 2, 3, 4. Didn't hit those chords right. Try it again. Undo. No. Yeah. All right, I liked the last one. This is a good thing when you're trying to put together a song and it's a repeating kind of pattern. You can just do what I did there, which is try it a few times, and then hopefully one of those times is a time where you get it right. Now, all we need to do here, first of all, is jump in and edit this. Tap it, hit the edit button, because we need these to actually start right on the grid. Right, so there you go. And then what we can do, Sue, is we can split them there. So we're going to tap, we're going to tap again, we're going to tap split, and we're going to pull down on this little split button there. Going to get rid of all this stuff, and then all we need to do is bring this whirly right to the start here, tap it, and loop it, and like magic, it'll go all the way through. Let's take a listen to what we got. Turn that down a bit. Yeah. Just balancing out my sounds here a little bit as we go. All right. Now, are we going to be able to find something? I'm thinking guitar, but here's the problem. Guitar, virtual guitar here in GarageBand, that's not a loop, is a little bit challenging. And I don't know if we're going to find a loop that's actually going to match the key of what we're doing here, but we're going to try. Let's dive into Apple Loops, and we'll just search guitar, and we'll see if there is something that we can use here within these loops. All right, let's filter these sound packs back to all sound packs, like so, and come in here and have an experiment, shall we? All right, so we need something simple here. So that's not it. Maybe some... This is a bit weird, but I reckon we can try it. Let's see. All right. Pause it. So it's not going to work in its current form, but I think if we trim the front of this, so let's grab the front here, not like that. Grab the front and drag it. Can we do it? No, we can't do it because it's all the way down. Let's get to the end here and let's pull back on it and then come to the front here. In fact, we'll probably use our split to trim it out because what we want to do is find the spot where that first one starts, which is there, and then tap it and hit split and pull it down there. Then we can just delete out this part, tap, tap, delete, and drag this to the front because I reckon okay, so clearly not all of exactly that, but I reckon it can go da 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 da. All right. So we need it to change tone there. Da, 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 da. And here's the cool thing about Apple Loops. If you didn't know, you can actually come in here, split this, and then make this one with our settings, bring it down a tone, 2 semitones, and then see what we get. No, I think we need it to, it's a semitone. No, 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 no. I think it's there, isn't it? No, you know what we need? We actually need to use exactly those ones. So delete and loop these out. Actually, no, we don't want to loop. We want to copy it and paste it. So copy and drop in here and paste. Now, would this be much easier if I just grabbed my guitar and did this? Sure. But I want to show you that you don't always have to. Maybe you don't have a guitar. Maybe you can't play guitar. Maybe you just want to experiment with something a bit different. Maybe we go, maybe we actually go up with these. That could be fun. And what we're going to do is we're going to put some like cool effects and stuff around these so that even if they don't quite sound in the groove, if we put some like nice chorus and flange on here, I reckon it'll work all right. Now, to get the bluesy funkiness of this, I think this needs to come in a little earlier. So I'm going to zoom all the way in, and I'm going to turn my snap to grid off. I know, things worked so well last time I got the grid off, didn't it? Let's just see how this is going to sound. I know what I'm trying to do here, but it's not quite working for me. I'm going to go back to the grid. It's going to be... And then we want this last one to just do a single. So we'll copy that and paste it here. So chopping up your loops can be kind of fun. Still got that problem with GarageBand where you move this around and it just keeps moving things. How are we going on time here? Let's check in on our timer. We're only just on the 25-minute mark here, so that's pretty good. We got ourselves some time to experiment and mix and change and just have fun. All right. That's not bad. It would be better if it was in time, but we're not going to mess with it too much here. Now we just need to copy this and paste it for our second version. So we'll copy it and we'll paste it down here, like so. Bang, bang. And then again, right? So we're going to do this all the way through because it's 8 bars, remember? It's the name of the thing. It's the 8-bar challenge. All right, how are we going to look here now? Let's come back to the start. We'll zoom on out. Yeah, okay. Now what we want to do is let's start putting some effects on this guitar because this is where we can get a bit fancy. So what I wanted was a chorus sound on here. I think I also want some nice track echo here and make sure that this track echo is like, and this is where being on the grid actually does help because we can do like a quarter note track echo on this and get something like this. Maybe 1 1/8 note. That's cool. Little drive. Just to grit it up a bit. Let's get a little stereo going on too here. Let's put one of these. Why don't we put the organ half left and the whirly half right? Because you want your drums and you want your bass down the middle, but the rest of it, we can get a little bit of stereo width with this here. What about this? Not bad. I think we need something to complement this drum, this funky drums. We need something with a little bit more power, and that'll give us 2 vocal tracks to finish off this thing here. So let us come in here. I think we'll go to the, should we go to the, just play the drum straight in, or should we use something like the beat sequencer? Let's try the beat sequencer to start with. Now, what sort of drums is going to work with this? We definitely want something acoustic, don't we? Maybe something like, not the brush drummers, no, like R&B, maybe the neo soul. What's it going to give us by default here with the neo soul? That's not bad. Let's play it along. All right. I think we can do better with the pattern here, and maybe we'll need to work out where we want those kick drums. I could have gone to the blank pattern here, couldn't I? In fact, let's do that. Let's just go here and go pattern. Whoa, new blank pattern. Oh, they put it at the start, which is handy, but then it was all the way down there. All right, so we've got a new blank pattern here. So let's just play this along. All right, let's turn the volume up on this one just so that we can hear this a little better as we do this. Turn all these down and just sort of work something that's going to work along with our original beat here. So we want it to be do, do, do. 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 Like that, I reckon. No, space to there. There we go. Yep. And put our snare there. Just to give it a really big pop and snare in that pit. Yeah. And then I reckon just a pretty basic 1, 2, cha, 2, 1, 2, cha, 2. Don't need a complex here. All right, don't want that open. Pretty simple, yeah? What do you think of that double snare here with the 2 drum kits? I don't know. I kind of like it. Let's record it in. Why not? All right, hit the record button and added an extra snare there. All right, that's cool. So I just experimented a little bit there with the snares, and now we have our beat sequence. So let's bring our drums and put these up here with our other drums. So we've got drums, drums, bass, keys, and then guitar here, and we've built this up. Let's sort of do a little, little faders down mix here to bring this up into mix. And should we even separate out these drums? Like normally you go drums down the center, but I'm going to just pan these a little left, a little right, just to give it some space here. Let's play just these 2 here. I reckon they work beautifully together. Nice and balanced. Bring our bass in. Where's our organ? Our whirly. Guitar. Yeah, I'm reasonably happy with that. So we're going to move on to vocals. So what are we going to do with this? What sort of melody line am I hearing this? Yeah, I'm hearing sort of a counter of that, like wah 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 da 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 da. What's done is done. You gotta know why. Okay, what's done is done, but I don't know why. Something like that. Let's create a new track here, and we will say vocals and check 1, 2. Let's start with our lead vocals. Ba 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 ba. All right, we're good. Let's hit record and just experiment. What's done is done, and that's no reason. Sometimes you just gotta make a mind. Yeah, there we go. So that's ba ba da ba 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 ba. Now we're going to improvise some lyrics. This is always the fun part. So no AI, no ChatGPT to cheat here. I like the reason and then season as the rhymes. Okay, so let's just see if we can make something up on the spot. Sometimes I'm down and I got no reason. Sometimes the little things make me cry. Sometimes it's just the turn of the season. I don't know what and I don't know why. You know what? If the Chili Peppers can have a #1 song with Ding Dang Dong Dong, yeah, you know the rest of that story. Let's listen to it back here in the mix. Sometimes I'm down and I got no reason. Sometimes the little things make me cry. Sometimes it's just the turn of the season. I don't know what and I don't know why. Needs some delay badly, doesn't it? Sometimes I'm down and I got no reason. Sometimes the little things make me cry. Needs an EQ boost here. Sometimes it's just the turn of the season. I don't know what and I don't know why. Sometimes I'm down and I got no reason. All right, we've got one track left here, and I'm thinking that the vocals are a little bit low and gravelly, aren't they? Maybe we complement these with sometimes up, 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 down, up, down. I'm down and out and got nowhere to go. All right, let's try a little counter here. We'll duplicate that track out. We'll use the exact same vocal setup here to start with, and then we can do a little quick mix at the end. Let's play this back, and record, in fact. Sometimes I'm down and I got no reason. Sometimes I stop. Sometimes the little things make me cry. Sometimes I stop, oh yeah. Sometimes it's just the turn of the season. Sometimes I stop. I don't know what and I don't know why. Sometimes I stop. All right. Let's solo these vocals because that's never nerve-wracking. Sometimes I'm down and I got no reason. Sometimes I stop. Sometimes the little things make me cry. Sometimes I stop, oh yeah. Sometimes it's just the turn of the season. Sometimes I stop. I don't know what and I don't know why. Sometimes I stop. Sometimes I'm down and I got no reason. Sometimes I stop. Sometimes the little things make me cry. Sometimes I stop, oh yeah. Sometimes it's just the turn of the season. Sometimes I stop. I don't know what and I don't know why. There we go. So, yeah, we're just on 40 minutes here, and we've put together something that's not so bad, yeah? All of the volumes are a little on the loud side, aren't they? And now I've got all these soloed. So let's unsolo all of these. So again, you've got all the time you want to play with this, and you saw we had a false start. We didn't really get things going for the first loop there. We've played around, we've chopped up some loops, we've used a couple of keyboard sounds, we've used a bass that we've played in there. In fact, I'm gonna change this bass up. I'm not feeling the P bass. I think we need to go maybe the muted bass. Let's Sometimes I'm down and I got no reason. Sometimes I stop. Yeah, I kind of like that. Sometimes I live. Just a little more subtle bass sound there. Let's save this. Save out there. And let's just tidy things up a little bit here before we end things. So we don't need to do much to our drums. They're nicely in the zone, in the groove. Let's take a listen to this bass and see if we need to do any manual editing. That's pretty cool. I'm not hearing any notes sticking out. Yep. I reckon that's good enough for folk music. Oh. All right, so what am I going to do here? It is looped out, so it's the same on both sides, which means we can do a little bit of basic editing here. So I'm going to jump in, I'm going to hit edit, and I'm just going to help Mother Nature out here a little bit. See, that note there was too soon, so we're just going to shift this back a little bit. I reckon you're going to get a better... Da, da, da. Was that too quick in there? Da, da, da. Da, da. Da, da. These got to connect a little bit more, yeah? Da, da, da. That's cool. Oh, no, that one's too soon. And again, too staccato. So let's just extend those out a bit. Yeah, that's got to be a bit snappier. It's got to go like that. How's that? Not quite. Like that. And then just move that one a little forward. It's hard when you're doing a groove that's a little bit more syncopated to get it right because it's not on the grid. That's got to be sooner again. Again, a little staccato at the end, but not bad. That's better. Much better. So we hit the done button in the top right there. And we're done. What about these whirly chords? Do they need a little work? That's cool. No, I kind of like how lumpy they are. I think that they're good. So we're going to leave those as is. The guitar, of course, is a loop, and that's going to be right there. Sometimes down. And again, it doesn't quite follow the same rhythm, but I kind of like that just sits there in the groove. And with the delay on there, I think it works. Sometimes down and I got no reason. Sometimes stop. Sometimes the little things make me cry. Stop. Oh yeah. Sometimes I just look turn of the season. Sometimes stop. I don't know what and I don't know why. Sometimes I stop. Sometimes. All right. So we're towards the end here, and you'll be noticing there that we're clipping on some of these tracks. So I'm just going to bring everything down a little bit because then we don't want to clip on individual tracks. I can then use a little handy technique that I use to reduce the overall volume. But let's just get everything down a little bit and see how balanced we are here. Turn off our metronome and... Sometimes I'm down and I got no reason. Sometimes I stop. Sometimes the little things make me cry. Sometimes I stop. Oh yeah. Sometimes I just look to the season. Sometimes I stop. I don't know what and I don't know why. Sometimes I stop. All right, cool. So let's do our final little hack here. First, we're going to save out. Yep. We're going to come back in. Yep. And we are going to go to our FX here. Now, here's a little trick for young players. If you've got FX, you can actually turn on the EQ and turn down the volume of your overall mix. So let's do that here now. And you'll notice that like magic now... Sometimes down and I got no reason. See how everything's down? Sometimes the little things make me cry. And why is this important? Well, it's because when we export from GarageBand, which we're going to do now, it's going to be quieter. Yeah. So, louder. It auto-normalizes it. But if it's already too loud, it tries to do some limiting, and then you get that sort of wavering sound. Have you ever heard that? It doesn't sound great. So use this trick to fix that. Let's close out of this one, and we're going to export this. So let's export this 8-bar challenge because we're close to done. Let's share it. Let's share it as a song. I've never shared out of this new version of GarageBand in iPadOS 26. So let's see how it all goes, shall we? First time doing it. We are going to say, in fact, we're going to send it straight over to my Mac because the next section we do here, I'm going to jump over on the Mac. It's just going to be easier to show you this next part. So hopefully that is airdropping. Yes, it's receiving it right now. And there it is. I've popped it up and I'm going to show it in my Finder. So let's switch over here to my Mac, and there it is in my Finder. There's the file ready to rock and roll. But what we're going to do here now is we're going to throw this up on slaps.com. Yeah, that's the place that I like to share music. And this is going to be interesting because we're pre-recording this. Let's jump to slaps.com. Here we are. We'll sign in. Because we're pre-recording this, it's going to go up there. People are going to hear this song, and then it's going to kind of be backwards. They're going to see how I created it. So it's going to be an interesting one. So here we're going to go to me. So if you haven't used slaps.com before, you can sign up for free. It is, there's no Cowboys. I think that's my last 8-bar challenge. Yeah. See, we have already done an 8-bar challenge in 2025. There you go. We did one very early in the year. So let's take a quick listen to my last 8-bar challenge. It sounded like this. Cowboys don't come round these parts of town anymore. Very different, right? Yeah, super duper different. So let's come in here and we're going to post. So we're going to upload a new song. We're going to put it in 8-bar challenge. Yep. What is this called? That's a great question. I don't know. What is it? What is the words again? Let's just open this one. We'll take a listen to it. We'll just open it here with the QuickTime player, and make sure it actually worked first. So let's export. Let's play. Sometimes I'm down and I got no reason. Sometimes I stop. Sometimes the little things make me cry. Sometimes I stop. Oh yeah. Sometimes I just look to the season. Sometimes I stop. I don't know what and I don't know why. Sometimes I stop. All right, let's go. Let's call it Seasons, just for fun. Why not? Why not? Why not? Now, we don't have any artwork, so we need to create that. But first of all, let's upload that audio file, which we know is there. There it is, the 8-bar challenge. Now, should we do something for the artwork? Let's go to Canva, and I'm also going to go to Bing Image Creator, because this one I find creates some fun things. So I'm just going to say picture of a man surrounded by all 4 seasons and looking confused and concerned about his future. Also, he's a cowboy. No, that was the other one. He's also holding a bass guitar. All right. What do you got for me, Bing? Let's Bing it up. And whatever it is, we will throw it into Canva. There's my pointing Pete's that I use in Canva here. We're just going to go home. How are we on time, by the way? Yeah, we're still good. Still got about 10 minutes to go here. Here's all my things. So we'll create a new one. So we're going to create here in Canva. We're going to create a custom size, and we'll make it 5,000 by 5,000. Nice chunky new image. And what have you got for us, Bing? Oh, wow. This is interesting. Okay, so who's this bloke? Oh, yeah, that's not bad. I love that he's got all the arms. I love that he's got additional arms. It's just, and what's going on? Oh, he's got these little heads out here. Everything except summer. Okay, I kind of love that. That's like DALL-E stuff going on there. Let's download it. And in fact, we don't even need to put the thing on there, but we will anyway. So we can bring this JPEG over here. And we'll bring it out like this. Do I need to put any text on here, or is that going to ruin it? I don't think I need text. So I'm just going to upload that image as is. I don't even need to change it. So let's go back to slaps.com, seasons, and we will just use that JPEG. Easy as that. Who knew? AI. This is 8-bar challenge track for... What month are we in? July 2025. Join the challenge. Details coming soon. Because when I get this video uploaded, I'll be able to let people know. But for now, people are just going to hear this and go, what is that? Or do I? Yeah, you know what? Not that many people are going to be in Slaps and going to be checking out music, but the few people that do, they'll get to do it. I'll decide whether I make it private or not, but we'll put it up here and see what happens. So there it is. It's all good to go. Should we play it back? Sometimes I'm down and I got no reason. Sometimes I stop. Sometimes the little things make me cry. Sometimes I stop. Oh yeah. Sometimes I just look under the season. Sometimes I stop. I don't know what and I don't know why. Sometimes I stop. I probably could have cleaned up the end there a bit so I didn't just go. But it's cool because then you could loop it forever. It could be the song that doesn't end. Very cool stuff. So that is there now on slaps.com. We'll just return to the iPad here and take another quick look at what we did with this one. So we started by trying to bring in a loop that just didn't work because it was in 7/8 time, but then we used the vibe of that to create a bass line that I think is kind of cool. We then went back to freesound.org and grabbed this funky drum sound from there, which worked. We complemented that eventually with the Neo Soul kit to give ourselves some extra stuff. Added a couple of keys here with the organ and a whirly. We added in some guitar using one of the guitar loops and chopping it up. Then we recorded a couple of tracks of fun vocals at the end there. So all done within the hour, 8 bars, 8 tracks. I love doing this sort of stuff. What about you? I want you to join in. In fact, do your own 8-bar challenge. Go over to slaps.com and slap it up there. You saw how we did it before, but just again to reiterate, if we jump over here to Slaps, all you need to do is when you post it, make sure that you go to the groups here and go to 8-bar challenge. You can search out groups by going to groups here and actually searching, and it's just 8-bar challenge, all one word. Make sure you're following that group, and you too can submit your 8-bar challenge. And you know what we do? On a future episode, we will be reviewing as part of GarageBand Weekly. So it's always fun. That's why we do this. I said every year. We do it every 6 months, clearly, because we've done one before. So yeah, do join the fun of the 8-bar challenge. It's just a good way to get the creative juices flowing. It's not intimidating and daunting. You don't have to write a verse and a chorus, and you don't have to take it too seriously. But you might come up with something that actually is kind of fun and kind of funky and kind of cool. So I hope you found this one interesting, inspiring, insightful. All of the above? Sure, why not? Thanks for being here, folks. Please be kind to yourselves. Be kind to others. Keep creating. Remember to jump over to studiolivetoday.com/GarageBand for all your GarageBand needs. And until next time, I'll see you then. Bye for now.